we gon' take it up higher. Spirit on me in the flesh. I've been baptized with the fire. Riding with the crew on time. They say they tryna divide us.
On today's installation video, we'll be showing you how to install a RaceChip on a Porsche 992 Carrera 4 with the 3.0 turbocharged motor.
Before installing the RaceChip, please wait until your engine is cool enough to work on. Put your parking brake or emergency brake on. If your vehicle is equipped with an alarm system, please disable it. Pop the hood, roll up the windows, close the doors, and press the lock button on your key fob and move that key fob 30 feet away. You're gonna wait about 10 minutes after for all the electricity to clear from underneath the hood.
To begin the installation, we'll first put the car in accessory mode and raise the rear spoiler to the very top position. Then go ahead and release the rear engine cover. Next, let's move to the back of the car and remove both fill caps and set them aside. Then we'll gently lift upwards to remove the fan cover and set it to the side as well. With the fans exposed, we're going to go ahead and remove them now by gently lifting up first before pulling away from the vehicle to remove the fans themselves. Then we'll follow that up by unplugging the power supply, and we'll repeat this twice on both sets of fans. We will continue the installation by removing the latch and setting it aside. We now will have access to the turbo boost pressure sensor, or the A connection for the RaceChip wiring harness. To unplug the OEM sensor plug, we'll pull back and press down on the red locking tab. Then grab the RaceChip male connection, plugging it in and locking it in place with the gray locking tab. We'll follow this up by then grabbing the female end of the RaceChip wiring harness and plugging it into the male end of the OEM sensor plug. Make sure to lock this in place with the red locking tab. We now have access to our B connection, which will be in the center of this frame. It is towards the firewall and on top of the motor. Just like the connections on A, we'll unplug the OEM male sensor plug and plug it into the RaceChip wiring harness. Make sure to lock it in place with both the RaceChip gray locking tab and the OEM red locking tab. We'll follow this up with routing the wiring harness and making sure to avoid any hot components. This moves us on to removing the deactivation plug and setting it aside. Make sure you save this for later by putting it in your center console or glove compartment. We now will move on to installing the RaceChip unit itself. The first step is to install the 4 mounting tabs. This mounting tab allows for you to remove the RaceChip unit and leave the zip ties in place. With the 4 mounting tabs installed, we can go ahead and put the 2 longer supplied zip ties into the mounting tabs themselves. And then we'll go ahead and plug in the RaceChip unit and locking it in place with the purple FCI plug. Next, we'll attach the unit to the vehicle and making sure to stay away from any heat and moisture. When using the zip ties, make sure not to tie too tight. With the RaceChip unit installed, it is now time to replace the latch. Reinstall the fans and make sure to plug them back in. Before finally we reinsert the fan cover and screw the two caps back in. Now all that's left to do is get out, drive, and enjoy your RaceChip.